how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Hatchet Slash. This is a comic book crossover between Adam Green's Hatchet films and the Hack Slash comic book, and this is the main story inside of the third Hack Slash annual. And yeah, for this one issue they changed the comic book's name to Hatchet Slash from Hack Slash. Now if you guys are only familiar with one of these properties, I would definitely say check out the other. Hack Slash is a really cool comic book about Cassie and Vlad who go out and hunt slashers, and the series is one of my favorite horror comics of all time. And then of course you have Adam Green's Hatchet films, which are absolutely amazing, gory and over-the-top retro throwback horror, and every film in the series is pretty fun. So to get to see two things I really love come together was a real treat. The two do blend pretty seamlessly, and it's really cool to get to see Cassie go up against Victor Crowley, and the thing really does play out like a Hatchet movie. You get this young woman that miraculously survives Victor Crowley, but it turns out her friends left her, and she rigs up this elaborate thing where she summons Victor Crowley inside an abandoned stadium and traps all her friends in there, and it's up to Cassie to try to save as many as she can. So yeah, Victor Crowley versus Cassie in this elaborate stadium thing, that's pretty cool, and it really does feel like a Hatchet movie. I mean, the plot's relatively simple, but the kills are very much over the top. We're treated to a good bit of extra gore because of Victor Crowley, and also just the way that he pops out and really goes after people, and the way there's back and forth and quips between the characters. It really does have the feel of a Hatchet film, but we also get Cassie and Vlad running around in this world as well. It is a really good versus book, and it was just so great to see two things I love come together. One of the big things I really love about Hack Slash is all these crossovers we would do. I mean, Child's Play and Reanimator, and now we get Hatchet. This is really fun, and I definitely recommend it. Anyway, if you guys want to see me talk about the book a little bit more and a little bit more specifics, I'm going to switch to the close-up camera. I'll show you guys some of the story and some of the art. I'll be avoiding major spoilers though, but without further ado, let's switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at Hatchet Slash. Once again, we're inside Omnibus 4, and let's bring this closer to the camera. Flipping to the credits, we can see that they put the Hatchet Slash story second from the end. The backup story, Night Funeral and Immorus, was actually put a little sooner, but pulling in on those credits, and we get to see that the script was by Benito Cereno, so not Tim Seeley. I guess this is an annual and a crossover story, so we get a different writer. The art is by Ariel Zucker Brull. Now, the interior artist also did the B cover, and that is a really fun image, and we get to see the tagline, old school American horror versus comic book horror hunter. But yeah, this is a really cool cover. But flip it to the story proper and we get to see the A cover. I'm just gonna put that on screen because the opposite story page is something YouTube probably doesn't want me showing you, but the Reverend Zombie Voodoo Shop shirt and the big Victor Crowley face looming over her, that's pretty cool. Anyway, after that we get into the story proper. Now I'm not gonna do any major spoilers, but I do want to show you guys some of the story and some of the art. I'll just be avoiding the end bits. We open up with a swamp boat cruise. I mean, this is Hatchet after all, and we get some friends in there, and the friends are all kind of rich frat people, and they've convinced this guy to bring him into the swamp on his boat, even though he says it's a bad idea, and he talks about the legend of Victor Crowley, and wouldn't you know it, this girl on the edge of the boat gets yanked into the water by Victor Crowley. We get this super cool panel of her being lifted up into the air, and yeah, those rich frat people are gonna drive away and leave her, but hey, they did make it out. We cut to 10 years later. It's New Orleans during Mardi Gras, and Cassie and Vlad are talking about all these bodies that have been piling up lately, and Vlad mentions the legend of Victor Crowley, and Cassie is unsure about it being a ghost. And if we look, Cassie actually does have a red variant of the classic Hatchet shirt. I love the little little details. This thing really does feel like a Hatchet movie. I also really love the way Cassie is drawn here. But yeah, the heavy contrast in this art style really does work out pretty well for her. They hop in their hearse and they manage to track down the killer to this stadium that got abandoned during Katrina. So they decide to go in and see what's up there, and that's where they'll meet the girl from earlier. Yeah, it turns out she's lost an arm and 2 legs, but she's still around. And it turns out those bodies that drew Cassie and Vlad were placed by her in order to get their attention. You see, she kind of lucked out and survived because a random alligator attacked Crowley. She crawled her way to a road and was able to recover. And yeah, everybody in that frat group was pretty rich, so she figured out that to spawn Victor Crowley, she could make a little swamp in this abandoned stadium and move Victor Crowley's house there. And now she's sort of created a little labyrinth to trap her old friends there. And she says, the thing is, I want Crowley to kill all my old friends out of revenge for leaving me. And the reason why I got you guys to come down is because I also want revenge against Crowley. So when he's done, I want someone to kill him. And yeah, life for her college friends inside that stadium is not doing too good. There's a body, they see the house again, and Victor Crowley loves to pop up and grab one of them just like in the movies. There's him taking the hatchet to some guy's head, and don't worry, he didn't forget about his trusty belt sander. Yeah, this really does have the energy of the movies where Victor Crowley would just pop out and get you, and he really does tear through all these characters. And these characters do have a good back and forth with each other. When they realize they're trapped there, they start to blame and turn on one another and fight with each other, and there is some fun back and forth even though these are kind of just disposable characters. And eventually we will get a fight between Cassie and Crowley, which plays out pretty fun. I don't want to spoil too much of that, but it did turn out really cool and I really did like it. Overall, yeah, definitely recommend this one. This was really fun. It's a little bit short, but it gets so much of what I love about the Hatchet movies done right, and it really does have that Hatchet feel. A really fun little adventure, and I really do love this crossover. Definitely recommend it. I'm gonna have to check out some of the other Hatchet comics now. Hopefully they're all fun. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my hack slash playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about other plot arcs, you can click right there and see more. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.